It started with a scream that shattered the perfect silence of luxury. A woman's voice, sharp and panicked, cut through the elegant music and soft laughter. My necklace. My diamond necklace is gone. In an instant, the glittering calm of the ballroom turned into chaos. People gasped, turned their heads, whispers spread like fire. And at that very moment, my friend, I have to ask, where are you watching this from? Which city, which place? Because no matter where you are, you've probably seen moments when the truth hides in plain sight. So stay until the end of this story. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because what happens next will make you believe in justice again. Now, back to the night it all began. The charity gala at the Grand Regency Hotel was meant to be flawless. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. The finest guests of the city gathered under one roof. Laughter, champagne, camera flashes. Everything shone with wealth and pride. Among the staff moving quietly through the room was Aisha, the janitor. She had been working at the hotel for years, keeping the floors spotless, her presence often unnoticed. She didn't mind. She found comfort in silence, pride in doing her job well, even when no one said thank you. She wiped the marble floors, arranged chairs, and watched people in glittering gowns and tailored suits pass by her as if she were invisible. But that night, everything changed. The missing diamond belonged to Victoria Langford, the daughter of a powerful jewelry magnate, famous for her arrogance and temper. When she realized her necklace was gone, her face turned pale, then furious. "Someone stole it," she shouted, her voice echoing through the ballroom. The music stopped. Every conversation died instantly. The hotel manager, Mr. Collins, rushed forward, trying to calm her. "Please, Miss Langford, we'll find it, I promise." But she didn't want promises. She wanted someone to blame. Her sharp eyes scanned the room, and then they landed on Aisha. "You," she said, pointing directly at her. "You were just near my table." A wave of gasps moved through the crowd. Guests turned to look at the janitor in her plain uniform, standing quietly by her cleaning cart. "I was cleaning the floor," Aisha said softly, her voice trembling but steady. "I didn't take anything." Her words fell into the noise like pebbles into a storm. No one believed her. Mr. Collins frowned, trying to keep control of the situation, while the hotel's security guards sealed the exits. "No one leaves until the necklace is found," he announced. The atmosphere grew heavy, the tension almost visible in the air. The rich guests whispered, clutching their jewelry as if afraid it might vanish next. Aisha stood still, her hands folded, her heart pounding. She had done nothing wrong, but she could already feel the weight of suspicion pressing down on her. One of the guests murmured, "These people can't be trusted," and Aisha's chest tightened. Shame, anger, fear, all of it mixed into one painful silence. Mr. Collins ordered the guards to check Aisha's cart. They searched every rag, every bottle, every pocket of her uniform. Nothing. The guards exchanged glances. But the damage was done. The looks, the whispers, the judgment. They clung to her like a shadow. Victoria crossed her arms and sneered. She probably hid it somewhere else. Aisha lowered her eyes, refusing to cry. She had seen this look before many times. The look that said she didn't belong here, that no one like her could be trusted among people like them. Minutes stretched into hours. The ballroom, once bright and alive, now felt cold and cruel. The guests began to talk in low tones about reputation, about security failures, about who might be fired. And all the while, Aisha kept thinking, why me? She could have walked away. She could have cried. But instead she looked closer. Her instincts, sharp from years of watching, listening, noticing, told her something was wrong. Near the far corner of the room, where the staff usually didn't go, she saw a faint trail of dirt on the polished marble floor. It was out of place, messy, fresh. It led toward the service corridor, an area restricted to maintenance crews only. Something inside her stirred. She remembered seeing a man earlier, someone in an unfamiliar uniform passing through that hallway. She hadn't thought much of it at the time, but now her memory sharpened. The shoes, they were heavy, the kind construction workers wore, and there, near the baseboard, was a small mark, the edge of a boot print. Aisha glanced around. No one else had noticed it. Everyone was too busy whispering or glaring at her. Slowly, carefully, she bent down, pretending to pick up a dropped napkin, but really she was examining the print. It was faint, but clear enough to be real. Someone had been here. Someone who shouldn't have. She straightened, her heart beating faster. She wanted to tell Mr. Collins, but she knew he wouldn't listen. None of them would. In their eyes, she was already guilty. Aisha took a deep breath and forced herself to stay calm. The truth was here, somewhere in this building, and if she didn't find it, no one would. She gathered her cleaning supplies, trying not to draw attention, her mind racing. She would need to think, to watch, to move quietly. This wasn't just about a necklace anymore, and it was about her name, her dignity, her right to be believed. The music had resumed softly, trying to mask the tension, but nothing could hide the unease in the air. Guests avoided her, stepping aside as she passed, as if her very presence carried shame. Aisha didn't react. Her eyes flicked once more to the service corridor, that faint trail of dirt glinting under the chandelier light. And in that moment, she knew the real thief was still out there, and she was the only one who had noticed. The night had only just begun, but for Aisha, it would change everything. The hunt for the truth had already started, even if no one yet realized it. Because sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who sees what everyone else misses. And Aisha was about to prove it. Whispers filled the polished marble halls of the Grand Regency Hotel, as though the building itself carried gossip through its walls. They said the cleaning woman had done something terrible, that she had stolen a diamond worth more than her life. Aisha could feel the glances on her back as she pushed her cart through the corridors, her movements calm, but her heart pounding. Every whisper felt like a small knife, every silence heavier than accusation. But she refused to bow her head. She knew the truth, and she would find it. When she turned the corner into the narrow service hallway, she saw the faint dirt marks again, the same pattern she had noticed earlier, the same muddy trace that didn't belong in a ballroom. Someone had used this path, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. Aisha took a slow breath and decided to act. She went to find Mr. Harper, the senior security officer, an older man with kind but weary eyes who had worked at the hotel longer than anyone else. He had always treated her with a quiet respect, though even he looked cautious now when she approached. "Aisha," he said quietly, "you shouldn't get yourself involved. They've already decided who's guilty." She looked him in the eye and replied, "Then they've decided wrong." Something in her voice made him pause. After a moment, he nodded and led her into the security office. The monitors glowed with flickering footage from every corridor, ballroom, and exit. Aisha leaned forward, scanning each frame carefully. Hours seemed to pass before she pointed at one screen. "There," she whispered. A man in a waiter's uniform was walking briskly toward the service exit, holding a small velvet box in his gloved hand. Harper frowned. "That's not one of ours," he muttered. They watched as the figure disappeared through the door and never returned. Aisha's pulse raced. The proof was right there, hidden in plain sight. Harper began checking the staff roster. There was no record of such a waiter working that night. No name, no ID, no shift. Just a phantom among them. Meanwhile, upstairs in the ballroom, the storm was growing. Victoria Langford stood with her arms crossed, furious and demanding justice. "She stole it," she repeated to Mr. Collins. "You're making a fool of yourself by protecting her." Collins tried to remain composed, but the pressure from the guests was immense. People whispered behind champagne glasses. Others shook their heads in false sympathy. Aisha's name was now poison on their lips. Downstairs, unaware of the cruel rumors spreading like wildfire, Aisha and Harper moved silently through the maintenance corridors. They examined every turn, every locked door, until she noticed something strange near the supply room. A patch of dried mud, faint but distinct, smeared across the floor. It was the same grayish color as the footprint from earlier. Harper crouched down, touching it carefully. "Construction compound," he murmured. "They've been using this in the renovation wing." The realization hit them both. The intruder had come from the off-limits area, a section of the hotel that only workers and security could access. Someone had used it as a secret path to slip in and out unnoticed. The more they looked, the more the pattern emerged. Subtle clues, almost invisible, connecting the theft to someone far more dangerous than anyone suspected. Harper began to trust Aisha completely. "You've got a good eye," he said quietly. "Better than most of my men." She smiled faintly. "People like me have to notice what others ignore." Upstairs, however, Victoria wasn't satisfied. Her voice echoed across the ballroom. "Fire her, now." Mr. Collins tried to reason with her, but she was relentless. "I will not stay another minute in this hotel if a thief is working here." The guests murmured in agreement, their faces filled with shallow outrage. Aisha's reputation was being crushed in real time, but she didn't stop. In a dimly lit storage room, she and Harper searched for more evidence. Among the cleaning supplies and paint cans, Aisha noticed a single black glove resting on a metal shelf. It looked out of place, newer, cleaner than the rest. When Harper picked it up, he noticed the faint logo printed near the wrist. It belonged to a local private security company, not the hotel's. The glove had been dropped in haste. The realization tightened the air between them. The thief wasn't a waiter at all, he was a professional. Someone hired. Someone who had planned this. Harper's voice grew tense. "This is bigger than we thought." Aisha's resolve hardened. "Then we'll make them see it." She remembered every insult, every look of disdain from the guests upstairs, and it only fueled her determination. They returned to the control room and replayed the footage again and again, tracing the man's movements from the ballroom to the service corridor, from the shadows to the exit. Everything fit perfectly, like pieces of a puzzle that no one had bothered to see. Harper began making notes, timestamps, screenshots, solid proof. "We'll need to involve the police," he said finally. "They won't believe it otherwise." Aisha nodded, her eyes fixed on the screen. "Then let them come. Let them see what really happened." As they prepared the evidence, she could almost hear the murmurs of disbelief upstairs, the cruel laughter behind her back. But the truth was no longer just an idea. It was something tangible, something she could hold in her hands. The hotel's grand illusion of perfection was crumbling, and soon everyone would know it. The hum of the security monitors filled the silence as Harper made the call. "We'll need everyone in the ballroom," he told the manager. "There's something they all need to see." Aisha stood quietly beside him, her uniform spotless, her eyes steady. The fear that once filled her was gone. All that remained was calm determination. The night that had begun with humiliation was about to end with revelation. And for the first time, she felt the balance beginning to shift. The truth was coming, and nothing could stop it now. You could feel the air in the ballroom tighten as everyone gathered, whispers echoing through the marble hall. Victoria's voice cut through the noise, sharp and trembling with anger, demanding that Aisha be punished. Mr. Collins stood beside her, his face pale, unsure of what to say. The guests watched, hungry for blame, their eyes full of quiet judgment. And then, a calm voice broke the tension. Mr. Harper's. He asked for everyone's attention and turned on the screen behind him. The room fell silent. The footage appeared. A man in a waiter's uniform slipping through the service corridor, a velvet box in his gloved hand disappearing through the staff exit. Gasps filled the room. Aisha didn't move. She simply watched as the truth revealed itself. Mr. Harper spoke slowly, explaining that the man was not part of the hotel staff. He was an intruder, a con artist who had disguised himself to steal. And it was Aisha who first noticed the clue that led to uncovering the truth. The guests exchanged stunned glances. Victoria's lips parted, but no words came out. The arrogance drained from her face, replaced by disbelief. The woman who had shouted the loudest now stood speechless. Aisha looked at her, not with anger but with quiet grace. Her voice was soft, yet it carried through the room. Sometimes, the ones you don't see are the ones who see everything. The police entered soon after, confirming the man had been caught. The diamond necklace was found intact, hidden in the false lining of his catering bag. Relief washed over the hall, but it was mixed with shame. Shame for the quick accusations, for the laughter, for the looks that cut deeper than words. Mr. Collins turned to Aisha, and in front of everyone apologized for doubting her. He admitted she had shown more professionalism and courage than anyone else that night. Victoria stepped forward, her voice trembling, and whispered, "I'm sorry." Aisha nodded gently. Her eyes glistened, not with pride, but with peace. The noise of the room faded as she turned to leave, walking slowly down the long corridor of the hotel. For the first time that night, people stepped aside to make room for her. Light from the chandeliers followed her, warm and golden, brushing across her face. The same woman they had all ignored now carried herself like someone who had nothing left to prove. Her silence spoke louder than all the apologies. The story of the missing diamond would make the headlines, but those who were there would remember something far more powerful: the woman who refused to be broken by injustice. Because true worth is not measured by wealth, or by titles, or by the way others see you. It is measured by integrity, courage, and the quiet strength to stand tall even when the world turns against you. And maybe, just maybe, someone watching this will remember her when they face their own storm. Because sometimes, the smallest voices carry the greatest truth. If this story moved you, if you believe that honesty and strength still matter, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us tell more stories that remind the world that dignity once tested only shines brighter.